Hello everybody, good morning and welcome to your socials class. My name is Andrea Quintero and I'm going to be your teacher today. We are going to talk about the Cold War. The Cold War is a topic that belongs to a period between 10th and 11th grade. Okay, so first of all we're going to see the contents of this topic. We're going to talk about the containment. We're going to talk about the atomic age, the war extends to the space, the Red Scare, the Cold War abroad, and the closure of this period in the history. First of all, I'm going to introduce you to these two nations that starts this conflict. First of all, we have the United States of America, and in the other hand, we have the Soviet Union. These two nations were allies between the period of the Second War, the World War II, okay? But they weren't very friendly to each other. First, because the United States didn't feel very comfortable with the idea of communism, and they're trying to control it not to expand, okay? And in the other hand, the Soviets weren't feeling very good about United States when they don't recognize this nation as part of the international community. So the first step that we have in this conflict is from the United States and the diplomat George Kennan. In 1947, George Kennan was speaking in front of a Congress and talking about this containment. This containment was a strategy that he wrote in the long telegram, where he exposed that United States is trying to remain vigilant in the containment of Russian expansive tendencies. So for this, the communist people didn't react very well, you know? So it starts the atomic age. We have two very important people in this picture in here. First, we have Joseph Stalin, that was the leader of the Soviet Union, and just right beside him is Harry Truman. Harry Truman was in that moment the president of the United States of America. So the first movement was in 1949, when the Soviets were trying to test a very big atomic bomb, and this test made really unsecure the government of the United States. And the answer of President Truman was to encourage the US Army to develop new, different, more powerful weapons, and they say that they were going to be bigger, and it was going to be the hydrogen bomb. Okay? So just along with this competition, we have another kind of competition. In this is called the Cold War expands to the space. Okay? So as the previous point, the first move was from the Soviets. Okay? In October 4, 1957, the Soviets sent to the space the intercontinental Basilisk missile launch Sputnik. Sputnik is the Russian for the traveling companion. Okay? So this was a satellite that was in the orbit, and this was not a very pleasant surprise for the Americans, because they were thinking as the space as the next frontier, and they wanted to be the one that explored this space. So they answered by sending their own satellite in 1958. This new satellite was called Explorer 1. And after that, finishing this race, there was this big renamed mission called the Apollo 11, when the astronaut Neil Armstrong was the first man to land in the moon. So this act made America win this little race, this very important race. Okay? So this that we call the Red Scare is a very important social situation that had place just in America, that we need to talk about, because in 1947 it started a group called the House Un-American Activities Committee, or the UAC. What happened with these people? They tried to make people in America understand that communism in America, in United States, was very alive and very well. And they were trying to hunt down these people that belongs to this party or this movement or thought of communism, and take away the jobs and make different kind of hearings for these people to talk about other people and incriminate them. And this was a very important moment of collective hysteria, where people were thinking that they were surrounded by communist people in America. So it make a lot of people lose their jobs, like directors or actors, or a lot of people in Hollywood that was censored by not making art that get along with the communist thought. And even teachers from colleges were losing their jobs, and people in public places as well. So now we're going to move a little to this geographic topic that is called the Cold War abroad. We have a little alliance, a little very important alliance between the Soviet Union and North Korea, where they're trying to conquer a close nation from North Korea. And after this act, United States decided that they cannot wait anymore not to do anything, and they decided to act, sending troops to North Korea. But this war didn't last too long, because it finished at 1953. But in the other hand, they were trying to make a little more diplomatic movement by creating the NATO. The NATO means the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and this was an organization between different countries that were trying to stop the increasing or the expansion of the communist movement. Okay, and as an answer to this NATO, the Soviet Union answered with the Warsaw Pact. This Warsaw Pact was a mutual defense organization between the Soviet Union, Albania, Poland, Romania, Hungary, East Germany, Czechoslovakia, and Bulgaria. You can see that in here. In red we have the Warsaw Pact, and in green we have the NATO countries. Okay, one thing that is very important to notice in here is that we have Germany divided. After the World War II finished, the Germany country was divided between United States that had the west part, and to the Soviet Union that has the east part of Germany. Okay, good. Now to closure. The closure of this episode has three very important moments to make this finish at last. First thing is that in 1972, the new president Richard Nixon in United States decided that United States needed better relations with the other countries. It began with the communist China, and then he tried to make peace with the Soviet Union, and he did with a pact that he signed with the Soviet Prime Minister Leonid Brezhnev, and it was the Strategic Arm Limitation Treaty, or the SALT I. And this treaty was about to stop developing weapons to use against each other. That means that the atomic age was over from this treaty. But these pieces didn't last too long, because after Nixon finishes his period as president, started Ronald Reagan. And Ronald Reagan was one of these people that thought that they could not handle communism in the world. So he decided to help and to aid different armies from different countries that wanted to combat and control the expansive tendencies of the communism. And this way he tried to take out the country, the communism, and take it out from America, the continent. Okay, In the other hand, we have the Europe movement of communism that was just falling apart, but by itself. Okay, and after in front of this problematic, we have the Premier Mikhail Gorbachev, and he tried to make work two different laws to help the Soviet Union to remain together. These two laws were the Glasnost and the Perestroika for the economy and for the social that was in crisis, that was making the Soviet Union fell apart. Okay, and the most symbolic maybe happening that make us understand that maybe this war was going to be over was the fall of the Berlin Wall. So this is very symbolic because the Berlin Wall was dividing the Germany that I just told you, that belongs one part to United States and the other part to the Soviet Union. I'm sorry. And just 2 years after that, November in 1989, the Soviet Union fell apart for good in 1991, and in 1991 was declared that the Cold War was finished. Okay, I hope that you have enjoyed this class and you have learned a lot. Thank you very much for watching this video. Goodbye.